Karekyezi Mugisha Paulo Mwine Bikanya. Ndiye nzarwa Ibanda South, shomira Ibanda, nkashoma primary nagishomera cyane primary school naherize P7, na St. Kagwa namarire O level, then A level najimara St. Joseph's Vocational School, kandi ndiyo mbazi w'ebitabo kandi nderoya. Nkashoma university nagishomera Dabani University mbagita Manifesto Management College of Southern Africa. Then law nshomire KIU ninga yimukumanya ka Kampala International University. Nyina omukazi n'abana bashatu kandi ndiyo mushubuzi ayinde gambira konka nyuma ho nahereze university natandika gukoraho n'ekitongole cya UN United Nations, particularly FAO, which is Food and Agriculture of the United Nations. I worked as an operations officer in the administration department. So I was basically handling the treasury of the UN when it comes to the exchange of local currencies. Nyina bazire banje baruho bombi omambikanya no mucyara wetu Bakanya, ndiyo musero yakakunama ya kabiri, umuruka gwa kihangara no umuruka no gwaragage gomborana ya kihangara. Nyowe ekitekateko hata kinyine kibe cyo kwebembera Ibanda constituency nkamemba wa parliament omwaka 2026 kustia 2027. Nyine bintu bingi binyine irabanye Ibanda South ebintu kwasaga manerizo wangu byakhoyo konganiza kusummarizinga kugira ngo ejene an interview so it does not bore people. Umuntu yaje downloadinga nore nija kuba online metamuntwara ranka data nyingi maybe, but I will summarize a few which is a good content abantu baje downloading, then ebahwereho kumanya my political agenda for this coming elections of 2026-2031. Enshonga yokubanza, we are very lucky kugira ngo even in our constituency twinemu abantu abo government yatiremu sente zabo bakazaheru Israel bakabaskiring konka n'ekintu cyo kushanga nk'umuntu skills tuzine ko mu Ibanda South kandi tuzituraizingire buskayamba abantu abandi. Nyewe kushanga muri Ibanda South umbana bashira he nka Israel na Netherlands barumu kandi bakija baba na stranded ninga abantu abanda kurugo micyuke binyi nuje babezunca kandi bacenyenga environment zabo ninga community zabo kandi nkito abanyibanda tukabente taking a chance nke yo kushanga hata no bantu bagomba gukora ki nibayamba abanyibanda betu kushenginga ninga kwindura hambera yabo bakaraga traditional skill, traditional ways of handling issues, in the traditional ways of farming, okushanga tuje into some modern skills. Echoko banzi hariyo abana ba trainingire value addition. So knowledge is power. Konka you can imagine that knowledge they got from Israel and Netherlands has been underutilized. It is redundant. So it's an opportunity that we can tap in, tukatandikira aho ukashanga twabakozesa bascaling the whole of the community. Ekya kabiri, real engagement of youth participating in the affairs of managing our society. Ile bintu ebyo biroho eminono mingi, and politics is twine ebirebi, they are more of ideas, but we have not walked the talks. Niya kushanga we are being real. So nkabe nyena nyowe nkanye, I become more of a realist than being an idealist. Shitako mao kwandika ibintu nyenda gukora iki, nyenda gukora kiri, ngo gashanga tucyakora ki twakiteka mu ngora. Nyowe nkanye, I have already embraced ICT at my personal level. Therefore nkabe nyenda mwanje ngi embracing eyambe nka youth ninga abantu akwambenda kuba innovate katugere applications zumukoreba nkaha social media ninga zikoreba Play Store and Google Store, gukorera Facebook, gukorera Twitter, gukorera nebindi ebicengingire ensiza he gukorera nka America ninga China. Nyewe natandikiro applications zanye nkina yo kubanza bayita Zura app na yamba abantu kugaruka n'ikintu cyawe kikwiye kikuzireho ninga kukutorotora nk'ikintu iwe kitari cyawe ukashanga no postinga timbaga nogo ninga system ejo umuntu yakinagire ukashanga nakora ki nakigarukana. Ejo no solution mpango nkagenrolinga 2 years back. It's now like 2 years in existence. Nambo ngabe ni nshaban community yitu na agent blessing bazaha Play Store ninga App Store baji downloading bare ngo kwekora konga it's a solution ekwasa kuyamba public, especially umuntu wanaga kintu cyawo katigirenka documents ninga electronics ninga all gadgets of their nature ushanje ngono wasa kukigarukana easily kuraba application ejo. Ndizo application nimbe na event nyireho ni majeta Fundraise Africa nyonka nya identify njire nareba ngo in our communities abantu batunga bizibu. The other day nkashanga arumana akaba restaurant na Dubai, akana rondo buyambi ngo bura agarike ngukora agarike kari umuyihanga cyambere nkakizibu kushanga umuntu ayenda kusolicitinga nkesente isito kwasa kumutsinda kiraza kamuyamba kagaraka nka. So nareba ngo nateka ho ikintu kecha cyo kwita app ya Fundraise Africa umuntu yatunga kizibu yonka umuntu wa media noisha no interviewinga no diagnosing kizibu no capturinga no postinga ngahi a page yo neje kuyamba ko rotatinga kikazo mu community abantu bakakureba ko ine kizibu abantu bagatandukira kufundraising ngira kasente kacero 10 20 umutwaro miliyoni abantu abinye kisani bingi abinamba baza kubanza kuyamba hano babara bingi abako bategereza ngamba batakucimanya. So atumudimbaga nogu nuguyamba kutambuza umuntu ayinenge kizibu haza abantu bakwera ushanga kizibu bakirgamu utitsire ibintu byawe n'ubundi abo abantu mbaba tabine kandi ukubira cyo ninteko hejenje umuntu yatunga kizibu ushange takwasa kuce yamba nkawe kunka na itaga nka community ninga abantu the well wishers bamuyambe ko rwo kizibu ejo. Hari abantu norebere tukatanga kutunga endwara za complicated when actually we cannot handle them here locally in Uganda. Ushange it requires mbokutwara nka India nitaga nk'imtoro $10 mazimano za apejo no postingaho aba social media no manya ku creating content ejo ujipostinga app mchigenda viral in the whole of the world, actually not only in the community. Mchigenda viral jizomu monsiona haza abantu bakwera bakuyamba kandi chikutwara na bwiri ngumukwe nka msaneke beno shanganta bakuyamba bakwera kasente wargaha itizo wakora ki wachetura. So abweche ninkorebyo ningana imbeleta my political agenda. It is one way that it calls for youth teka ngu even innovation can change people's lives. So nanye in my political agenda nyendangu embracing ICT natunga chance nangu hato mshogunyine wa minister wa youth omwambaragara umnyano wanje ndaza kushitama designing systems za kuyamba menyete yitu ukashanga nabone bafunamu ninga nbayamba community 8 twiremu. Mbire natanchire projects zo kuyamba especially abakazi abagerezeho kutaha system ninga iba kweta the money economy. Abakazi bengi society yiteje iturumu who are trying to make ends meet, especially nk'abantu abari mu business za roadside sellers nk'abigora nkabatayira bangambira bizu byabo, and I was touched. So nanye nayikora mu komurimo naba providingira ka tents to shelter them from the heat ningo mshana ninga nkejura nkeje ko netonyeta kabire nyingi noshanga batunga mu shade enjure takora ki haza bache embracing kandi bachikunda ekyo kintu mbe nachikozire n'abanyigora, they can be a testimony to that action. Ekindi ekingugezaho ngo nkore ne skilling ninga initiating projects za kuwasa kuchanginga our farming system. I have seen statistics noreva I had anyonyi ne chance yo kureba statistics za trade, because I work closely with URA. I was able to access the data, all the trade data nareva over the time, especially in the past years. Uganda was a food basket in a sense, kugira ngo Uganda niye nehereza amahanga agatwetorire byo kurya. Konka the game has changed. It is so sad, but I have to mention it, that now we are depending most of the food stuff that we consume now in Uganda tutangire kubimportinga kuruga Kenya na Tanzania. Reason being abantu bitu abinvolvingire umkulisa n'umukinga, they have lacked stability, and one, it is either they have lacked the knowledge, ninga they have been not motivated, ninga sensitization has fallen back. Abantu ba Kenya ninga Tanzania have chat now they have started importing food stuff to our area, or is one ititwe nka constituency, for example nka yetu abantu binyi n'abahingi konka okuhingo kukutranslatinga into their livelihood status has been a challenge. Nushanga umuntu nahinga from January to December but cannot change life. One, they are still using the traditional means of practicing farming. Umuntu nachone mukasheshe abyara ibihimba ninga nk'ebicori nk'ebi abyara umwitaka that is already exhausted, then the output in real sense will be so low. Even post harvesting methods ninga chiba yabihingire byarigire muje kongo bahandoringa competing na market itwine in the region nacho murema satoshanga our real market ne profiling ibinde birigire nka Tanzania ninga Kenya against our locally produced goods. So what is lacking here? What is lacking is the training, sensitization of farmers, and introducing, for example, organic manure. You wake up in the morning planning for a small piece of land, but its productivity, its outcome is overwhelmingly good, that can increase. When the output is good, that means it translates to income. So hati we are at risk kushangangu, even the neighboring countries will overshadow all we are producing. Ushanje twashanga kandi tawenwe barisa hati tukora ki kuba depending kandi chavireho, but it is not too late. We can change the game if we can collectively use the skills government ekatekaho initiatives abana bazahira bashoma kunojya ngo hati consuming abana skills tukazikozesa, then we can get back to our regional status. Nabarisa noreba, it's the same game. Waza kuchireba, we are producing milk konka its quality is comparable to, for example, Kenya is a bit uncomparable in terms of quality. So no shankati when we are to export to the foreign countries. When I talk of foreign countries, I mean countries beyond East Africa, because our East Africa is termed as one community because of the East African community status. So atono shanga in East Africa ourselves, even the countries are competing for foreign chances to consume their products. So therefore, kukushanga ite producing a substandard. Now Kenya takes a chance. Hato shanga ite producing shanga prices it zaguma ziri hansi, not knowing that the problem is ours, not theirs where we are taking. The competition is too high. We need to be more skilled. We need to understand the dynamics of the markets that we are targeting. For education and health, I need to emphasize that once I get there, I already have the plans. I can do the lobbying, even where it necessitates to go and solicit donations from international communities. It is possible, because we reach at a time where the government cannot fully fund the social services we require. But as a member of parliament, you have now the obligation to go abroad, to go away from what the government has in the basket. Start fighting to have your constituents survive in terms of social services, in terms of their livelihood status. On the education sector, we need to emphasize that especially the curriculum which is being put on board is fully supported. We encourage students to adopt it, and more especially to have an education system that really deviates from the old one. Kushanga umwana nasoma aiza senior 6 17 byari kumanya ninga takwasa kwekora kantu kaka nkayogati ninga kushanga takumanya even baking a cake at home. So if we can introduce or emphasize that today, that we support more colleges, or even establish colleges that are not in place, okashanga we have a skillful community in terms of education. You endeavor, most of the problems will be solved. When you look at those countries in China, Nahan, they don't emphasize or they don't look or target going for those high schools, even universities, to get theory education. It's not on the agenda. But no shanga umuntu ka China, he wakes up in the morning na akola kachupa nkaka with little resources. Na imuka mkashisha kudensha onkejo as handwork. Back in the days we used to do even handwork, but it has even died away. So you see where the community is going. And the initial plan of doing handwork in schools was actually initiate them into having capacity to produce things locally on available resources. Konga, it has been dying away, deviating away from the cause, and this is lacking, or this is caused by at least the leadership gap that would have come in to resolve such issues. But I pray the Almighty, who looks back into his people, start embracing people with genuine knowledge, who will be realists instead of spreading ideas, then changing ye community yitu oshanje we are a better community to stay in, a better community to resolve conflicts, because you know where there is poverty, you cannot control conflicts, you cannot control violence. That is why there has been a lot of domestic violence. This is translated from the cause of that money has been disconnected from the public. Very few people earn money. Yeah, so it makes them more disparate, and end up being a violent community. I have seen many cases of people committing suicide. Reason, it's that distance between money and individuals. I have supported the sports so far. The other day I was in Rweshambia. I think it was a showcasing move. You know, when you talk about sports they rehabilitate the youth's mind. There is a way when you are doing sport where there is a damage on the brain, it starts healing. Therefore, if we support staff, it's one way or cheap way of rehabilitating people's mind. Therefore, we cannot ignore it, and we want to create more opportunities that the youth are engaged in to rehabilitate their mind. If it goes beyond, then we need to engage the stakeholders, the medics especially, kwenda rehabilitating a youth tawagarra on the channel to develop a society and live harmoniously. And two, sports, they create that social bonding. You see, when Kihanga, for example, plays a game, community to community, ejo bonding is a whole. Now people in Kihangara are bonding with people in Chuzi because it is one community by definition. That is why demarcation is Bajitekum constituency. Therefore, when you're encouraging inter-counties sports, that means you're trying to bond the community in terms of social life. Chindi, you know, sports also people have earned money out of such games. Communities like Soroti or Eastern Part, they're already enjoying and they are benefiting from the talents. So when you're encouraging sports, it's one way of identifying what? People's talents. You never know people have talents unless you organize such events that are of sporting nature. So when sports are underway, people come and watch and identify talents. And it's good these days that social media has come. Sports are captured on social media. Someone can even watch and say, there is a talent somewhere. I'm identifying it. The other day when the game was on, I noticed that people were even bought to come and play the game. So they earned. So it's also one way of making people earn money, especially the youth, and it also reduces redundancy. Ibindi, there are so more. There are so more that can take me even a day to articulate, but what I can assure the public, I am ready to serve you. But I have been explaining here, I want it to be no more. I want also to foster what has been lacking also, or what I would see has been also a challenge. You find the legislative disconnecting also itself from the local governments, and yet actually it's the local governments that actually implement activities that come from the central government. So I want to make sure that I'm not disconnected so much from the local government, so that the activities flow as required, and we make use of the funds that are allocated to especially our area without problems. Tsugara Ibanda South yenda kuba hamza ngwe 2026 yenda kuja ballot kandi nimba hamza you will not regret why you have to choose me. I thank you very much. May God bless you. One love for God and my country. Thank you very much.